So Nako Wumake is the president of the WNBPA. And she has just signed with a league that has actively, like when it's being in its formation, has said they eventually want to compete with the WNBA. And look, I have no issue with players saying their preferences is the WNBA. They're focusing on the WNBA and then playing in this league. But it's very different when it's the literal president. If you guys agree, subscribe. We are trying to gain 1 subscriber today. We are down 14. We're down 14 subscribers. If you could subscribe, we greatly appreciate it. But either way, we got to talk about this because right now, this is an absolute. First of all, this is the biggest conflict of interest. People are like, "Oh, Fee's not the president. Stewie's not the president." But yeah, Nakawumke is. A part owner of a league that wants to eventually compete with the WNBA, and at least with Unrivaled. Unrivaled sees the WNBA as competition. The WNBA doesn't. Sorry, the WNBA sees Unrivaled as competition, but not vice versa. Not vice versa. However, it is one of those things where you have now got you've now got the actual president of the league being the first signing for the rival league. And it's just not a good look. It's just not a good look at all. It is not good for the league. It is, people are like, oh, it gives the players more leverage. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. All this means is that the owners are going to be like, well, players aren't negotiating in good faith. And it makes it harder for them to argue. I'd say she's on serious money. I'd say she's on too good money to turn down. But I'm going to talk about this more in a future video. But if you guys don't know, all these alternative leagues, your Live Golfs, your Saudi Football League, even what used to be back in the day, the MLS in football, if you are one of the top players, you are going to be paid handsomely. Like, Neka is going to get massive money. She's going to get paid the big bucks. She will get paid the big bucks. So she's going to make a lot of money. If Caitlin plays, Caitlin might make 10 plus million. But there are so many players that won't make money. That won't make much money at all. And that's kind of where the problem is, where it's like the WNBA are proposing 300k minimum contracts. So let's just say there's 180 players in the WNBA with the 15 teams. Let's say it goes to 200 if they add 15 roster spots. It's going to go 17 by 15 very, very soon. So let's just say, calculator, off the top of my head, 17 by 15 is what? 185? I don't know. What is 17 by 15? 255. So there's going to be 255 players in the WNBA making a minimum of 300k. If you guys don't know, the top players on Rival make more than that, but only the tippity top. Like Satu leaked that she made less than 250. She made less than 215k in Unrivaled last season. She leaked that that's what she's making. So it's going to be at the stage where if the WNBA locks out, it's going to benefit the president. It's going to benefit the vice president, 2 of the vice presidents, and it's going to benefit some other players. And a lot of players are going to be screwed over badly, because let's just say there are less than 70 players, WNBA players, less than 70 that will make over 300k playing, whether it be overseas or in an alternate league. But that is the minimum contract. The minimum contract is going to be at a level that only a fraction of the league is going to be able to make more than if the league doesn't exist. And these players, because they are absolutely, I don't think we will see, I think it's unfair to expect people to fight against their own interest. And unfortunately, we're now at the stage where the interests of the vice presidents of the union, their interests, actively go against the best interests of the players because the WNBA owners want a clause that you basically, they want a clause that you're not playing in outside leagues to give the players what they want. And unfortunately, if it turns out that clause, like they offer huge money, but that clause is there, I don't see any of these people arguing, like cutting out their equity in these leagues and cutting out their equity in all of these things, costing themselves money. I just don't. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, and I'm willing to admit that I'm wrong. But everything about this sounds like it's in bad faith from the players now, from the Players Association. It does. Everything about this sounds like they're arguing in bad faith. It absolutely does. And the worst part is that Charles Barkley was the person who pointed out that he believes that the WNBA, he basically hinted that the WNBPA could be screwing over their own players by causing a lockout, because it's not them that gets affected by the lockout, it's the lower tier players. And it's a pity. Like, we have the Unrivaled roster reveal right now, and I don't think anyone really cares that much. Like obviously as a protected player, did Lexi get protected? I'm not sure, but Lexi's obviously with the rose right here. I think Lexi might have been protected. But yeah, it's just an interesting situation. It is a real interesting situation, and it's funny. A year ago, I would have went live for the Unrivaled roster reveal, and we're at 1,000 concurrents, but that's just not happening right now. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not gonna say I'm disappointed in NACA, but I just don't think that the WNBPA are negotiating in good faith. I actually don't. Like, I think they absolutely. I think it's hard to argue that, and at the same time, you guys can say whatever you want. I don't know these players personally. I absolutely don't know these players personally. So, I'm just making an assumption here that I'm just taking an educated guess. It's not being negotiated in good faith, and I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope these players make as much money as possible. But at the end of the day, the thing I hope more than anything is that there's a WNBA season next season. Mainly because I want to see Caitlin Clark play basketball again. It's as simple as that. I want to see Caitlin Clark play basketball again. So yeah, that's pretty much it, lads. See you guys.